Google it is what we would say if we need to find an answer for something. For everything from relationship advice to recipes, Google is our go-to solution for almost everything. But there are times when we would wonder why some everyday things are how they are, but wipe it out of our minds to focus on more important things. Sometimes finding an answer on Google means surfing endlessly through web pages that eventually lead us elsewhere, making a virtual maze of a kind. Therefore, in today's video, we bring you the answers to those questions all in one place through 10 interesting facts that you're too lazy to Google. But before we begin, we request you to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to never miss another upload of ours. Having said that, let's jump right in. Number 10. Why does freshly cut grass have that distinct smell? Although the smell of freshly cut grass is very good, the reason behind the smell is not something one would like to hear. To put in one word, the smell is trauma. When the grass is cut, organic compounds called green leaf follicles, GLV, are released in a much higher amount than usual from the plants. These compounds help in closing the wound in the plant at the place where the grass has been cut, along with playing a role in preventing fungal growth. Some of the compounds aid in the formation of new cells, while others act as distress signals. For humans, the GLVs are pleasing to the nose. The group of 8 related oxygenated hydrocarbons, along with alcohols and aldehydes, cause the green odor that we smell after the grass is freshly cut. However, this green odor comes at a cost, as the GLVs form bad ozone that is detrimental to the environment and is the main component of photochemical smog in the atmosphere. Number 9. Why does it seem like we look better in the mirror than we do in a photograph? The photographs we see are actually flipped mirror images of ourselves. We are used to seeing ourselves in the mirror, and so our snapshots don't seem to look right. This has a lot to do with the fact that most human faces are not symmetrical. One eye or ear might be slightly bigger than the other, or we may have a mark or mole on our faces. Some people part their hair on one side, which is what they prefer, but the photographs show it flipped, making the image look odd. When you see a photograph, you expect a certain image of you that stems from the memory of your face in the mirror. You don't see what you expect, which leads to disappointment, and you don't like how you look in the photograph. Number 8. Why do most water bottles have a flat bottom and most sodas or soft drink bottles have a 5-pointed bottom? When the soda or soft drink bottles were engineered, 2 major things were kept in mind. The design of the bottles was not made so for looks. One reason is the bottle must be able to withstand the change in volume that occurs when the chilled liquid increases in temperature and shouldn't topple. The second reason is it should be able to resist the process, where the bottles are pressurized to fill the gas as the drinks are carbonated. A 5-pointed corrugation in most of the soda bottles makes them stronger. When you try to crush the top of a soda or a soft drink bottle, it is easier to do so than to try and crush its bottom, as the latter has stronger resistance to force. Number 7. Why does standing in one place make your legs sore than walking? Walking doesn't make our leg muscles as sore as it would when we are just standing. There are many reasons behind that. When we stand, the calf muscles in our legs are under great pressure as they take all the weight. This tires the legs out, as opposed to when we are walking, when other muscles in the thighs, buttocks, core, and arms share the burden with the calves. Standing also tires the feet. Also, our legs do not get a break, as none of them are off ground for even a second when we are standing. But when we walk, the legs get a quick break alternatively. Number 6. Why is the foam of a shampoo always white irrespective of the shampoo's color? To understand this better, let's use an analogy. When a balloon is deflated, it is opaque with its color very much visible. As we go on inflating the balloon, it becomes lighter in color. If we continue to inflate the balloon without bursting it, there will come a point when it will become almost white. The same is the case with the bubbles that form in the form of a shampoo. The pigments in the shampoo become so thin when mixed with water that the visible light gets scattered. The light rays get reflected in several directions after striking a surface, bubbles in this case, much like how the sky appears white or gray at times. Number 5. Why does a candle not produce smoke when burning, but lots of smoke when you blow it out? There are 2 parts of a candle, the wax and the wick. The wick is the thread-like thing that sticks out and which we light with a match. The wax is the fuel that burns, producing light through the capillary action of the wick. When the candle is burning, we do not see smoke coming out of it. When we blow it out, what we see is not smoke, but vaporized paraffin wax that was acting as fuel. The candle wax is not just melting, it is also vaporizing. The vaporized paraffin wax is to candle wax what steam is to water. When we blow out a candle, some heat due to combustion remains in the wick. This heat continues to vaporize the candle wax for a few seconds. As there is no flame, the wax doesn't burn properly and condenses in the colder air around the wick, forming the smoke, which stops after a few seconds and turns solid. Number 4. Why do men lose weight faster than women? The simple answer to this question is because men have a higher metabolic rate. They need to consume more calories. A popular study showed both men and women consuming an equal amount of calories. However, a larger calorie deficit was created in the case for men, which resulted in the shedding of more kilograms. Number 3. Why does our skin get darker and our hair gets lighter under the sun? Our hair and skin both have melanin, a pigmented polymer that serves as a protection from the ultraviolet (UV) rays of the sun. Melanin is responsible for absorbing and scattering the UV rays, but in case of prolonged exposure, it degrades. Our skin cells react to the UV rays, causing the body to produce a hormone that binds to melanin-making cells. This makes the skin produce more melanin, which becomes darker as it disperses from the lower layer of the skin to its upper layer. This is what darkens our skin and causes a suntan. The hair cells, on the other hand, are comprised of structured proteins, lipids, water, and pigments, which in no way help the hair retain its original color. So the hair gets lighter under the sun and remains that way until they are cut and new strands grow in the place of the damaged, lighter ones. Number 2. Why don't we recognize own voice in a recording? It is common to not to sound like yourself in recordings, and there is a reason. When we hear other people talk, the sound waves travel through the air and vibrate our eardrums. The same happens when we hear our own voice, in addition to one more thing. Our vocal cords vibrate when we speak, and these vibrations are a second source of sound for us. So, when we speak, what we hear is a combination of these two sounds. When we hear a recording of our voice, the only thing we hear is the external stimulus, and not the vocal cord vibrations, making it sound very different to us, almost unrecognizable, as we are not used to hearing. According to a study, when people heard recordings of their own voices, only 38% were able to immediately identify their own voice. The recording of our own voice is at a higher pitch and does not have a false sense of bass like the one we have when we hear ourselves speak. Number 1. Why do our fingernails grow faster than our toenails? Our fingernails grow 2 to 3 times faster than our toenails. There are a lot of similarities between our fingernails and toenails. Both have a distal matrix below the cuticle, from where new nails grow. One popular theory for the slower growth of toenails is that lesser blood flow reaches the feet than the hands, resulting in lesser oxygen and nutrients for the growth of new cells in the toenails' distal matrix. We also tend to cover our feet in socks and shoes, reducing circulation. With that, we end today's video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time with more of such interesting content.